Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to United View. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the channel. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. It's a massive week at Old Trafford. A huge week, man. It's all about Thursday. It is the lead up to Thursday. And basically, it starts now. It does start now. Big up to you, whatever you're doing this week, however you're starting your week as well. The weather here in the UK anyway is going to be nice. The weather is going to be nice. So enjoy it. I don't know if you're up north or wherever you are, is it going to be nice for you? I don't know. I'm just going to talk about down south.
Still going to be nice. Still going to be nice. Yeah, right. Still going to be nice for a few days. So yeah, the weather, is going to be fine.
The weather. Okay, cool. Big up to all the mods in the house. Daniel Luciano is there. Stephanie Griffith. Stephanie Griffith is there. Lil Yo-Yo is there. I've seen Joe Blackman before. He was there somewhere. I saw him earlier on. There he is there. Yes, of course, Joe Blackman is there. Andy Knight, Eminem. Big up to everybody. Big up to everybody who's there. And there's so much more. I see you, Terence, as well. We got a lot to talk about. This Rasmus Hojlund social media post, I really want to talk about it because there was so much being said online. Some people were saying, listen, this is why they shouldn't be tweeting. He talks too much, this, that, and the other. And I was like, we need to talk about this because it's so shit at the moment at Man United that we are homing in and micromanaging every single thing that happens. So we have to talk about it and talk about it properly because I feel like there was an overreaction yesterday. I've seen a few comments, people in the chat, hey, this channel's the worst. This is what I mean about all the fan channels. Look, this is the reason why we want to talk about it. Because to be honest with you, I don't really care that he did it. He did need a goal, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll talk about that. Amorim as well. He had some interesting comments after Hojlund actually scored because, he's added more pressure. There's already pressure on Rasmus Hojlund. Of course there is. He has to score goals. He's the only fit striker we got in the Europa League. Obviously, Chido is there. So we got to talk about Amorim continuing that pressure and the comments that he said after that game. And Gary Neville's comments and just United comments in general. Because, Liverpool have won their 20th title and it's a crap day to be a United fan. You know what I mean? We did know it was happening. It's not a shock. We've known it for a while, but, it's cemented. And we also saw it in the coverage of the game yesterday. We're hanging on, trying to get back into a crap, meaningless game in the Premier League because we're 14th or wherever we are against Bournemouth. And they're shrinking down our screen and maximizing the other screen of red flares going off, welcoming the team bus to Anfield because they're about to win the league. Crap day. It's been crap for 13 years, obviously. But these are another one of those poignant days where it just cements everything, isn't it? Yesterday. So, yeah. But let's get to this Rasmus Hojlund thing because I do think it was much to do about nothing. What are you saying on this, Owen? And what was kind of reaction? What's going on here?
Yeah, so this is was the post in question. You can see right there was on Instagram, and his picture of himself saying, "We wanted the win, but I needed that." And people had issues with, like as you can see in the chat this morning, like as you can see in the comments actually to his post on Instagram, it was mixed. Some people are going, "This is tone deaf." This is other people going, but he did need that. He did. That's why Ruben Amorim started him instead of Chido, is because he needed that. We needed him to score ahead of Thursday. Other people are saying, wow, he posted it sort of 20 minutes after full time. And to be honest with you, after full time, people are at that period of time, Liverpool are on their way to winning a title. There's, is that really the right thing to be saying? Is it the right message to be said? Should he read the room a little bit more? Ultimately, like you said, Flex, if I'm going to be really honest, don't really care. Don't really care. It didn't necessarily bother me, but at the same time, you know what? I noticed yesterday. I noticed this yesterday. I see it this morning. It was a bit like last week after the Wolves game. When we go, this game doesn't matter, and then we lose and we start arguing. Yesterday, this game doesn't really matter. And then, but the performance is so bad that we do sort of argue about it. And then when you see players, I guess, posting after the game, sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's not even them. Sometimes it's their teams posting, and they've gone, "Can we put this out?" Yeah. some people will rub the wrong way. Some people don't want to hear anything, do they? They'd rather just silence, don't even want to hear from you. And other people, you know what it goes down to, and this is why no one will ever agree on it, it's different people's perspectives, isn't it? That's it.
That's exactly what it is.
Just different people's perspectives. Some people like to look at things positively. Some people like to look at things negatively. Some have got a more pragmatic approach to things. Some got a more optimistic approach to things, and that can rub people the wrong way. But you know, it's one of those ones, really. I think, to be honest with you, for me, I didn't even care. You know what I mean? I was so pissed off with the performance yesterday that I was just like, oh, whatever. Because, you know, I look at it and I go, yeah, he did need the goal. So fair enough. If it was me, would I have posted it? Probably not. Probably not. You could make an argument of, you know, it's a bit, I'm not saying look for, maybe kind of looking for sympathy, post a little bit. Oh, I needed that. You go, okay, but you know, yeah,
it's just all this is a clash of errors, the clash of generations. Like, let's just be real, yeah. There's a clash of generations. If you're from a certain generation and you're from a certain vibe, yeah, you're like, bro, why are you getting all emotional for, bro? You ain't scored in ages. You need to fix it. You finally got a goal. We didn't even win the game. Just do it on Thursday. Like, Liverpool win the league today. Get on the team bus. You've got a goal. Great. That's what you did your job for once. You haven't been doing it. You've been struggling. Your confidence is on the floor. But you don't need to be talking. You don't need to be talking amongst yourselves in the private, in the changing room. High five, well done, Rasmus. Good guy. Let's go for Thursday, bro. Team camaraderie, 100%. But if you're from the old school, you're like, just get to Thursday and do that again. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all it is. If you're, you know, in the new school, if you're, you know, a little bit younger or whatever, the social media era, you're like, well, you know, yeah, he did need that. Poor guy must have been going through it and all of that. Me personally, as Fleck, just me personally, because I'm also not that hyped up about it where anyone who thinks the other way, I'm like, why are you condoning? Because that's the thing I don't rate. Why are you condoning him saying that? This is the problem with our thing. We live in 2025, man. These kids are on their phone all the time. Rasmus does this all the time. When we got to the semi-final, the guy tweeted, when the semi-finals gives you a semi. Like, yeah. and I couldn't believe that was real. I thought it was a joke. I thought I did actually put that because his name's slightly different when how he's spelled on his social media. Yeah. With the Rasmus kind of Hojlund, it looks like it's not. Yeah. So I don't know if we're even spelling it right. I don't even know why that's like that. Yeah. Who knows? But he's always on his phone doing a madness. Sometimes we big him up for writing things. We go, oh, Rasmus, man. When we beat City or whatever, or he scored again, and he says something funny, we accept that bit of it, and we're like, ha, the Rasmus, he's always saying mad stuff or whatever. You know, Ahmad says some quite mad stuff on there sometimes. His English is not the best, so sometimes he trips up and says mad stuff. So Hojlund showed me that he's an emotional player, and he's straight on his phone all the time. Do I think that could be coached out of? That's the problem with these young. We're not going to win anything till. The reason why we're not going to win anything anytime soon is we don't have good enough players. Not because they're on social media. Like, if they're good enough, they can say what they want. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. Just score. So for me, I think there's a bit too much being done on this Hojlund thing. Is it tone deaf? Me personally, I wouldn't have posted it, but I'm not that offended that he did. He did need a goal. Just
and like you said, and like you said, but you're not from that generation, are you? Where you're like, the first thought isn't what's going to go on socials. Yeah, you know, what's going to
when we didn't even win. Didn't even win.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Exactly. And to be fair, like, I think you see it in the chat is just exactly the reaction to it, which you see, like Cuban says here, definitely rubbing you the wrong way. You're a striker. You scored for the first time this year. C says it was unnecessary, highlights mentality. And then Ish says absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'm older. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, so that there are literally everyone. Justin, I agree with that. Take Flex. He's young. His age group posts everything. So it's going to be mixed. It's the same as it's going to be whenever any player posts something at a time of sort of frustration or sort of negativity. And I think Eminem's right there. If say Marcus Rashford was still playing for us and he had scored yesterday, I mean, it's quite funny now to see. Even I've seen Aston Villa fans start to do it because Marcus Rashford was at the boxing, you know, and he's got a hamstring, and he was, you know, might be after the rest of the season with the hamstring problem. They're going, oh, well, what's going on there? You know what I mean? So yeah, I think once again, it's just raising that debate about what fans want to see from their football players in 2025 and understanding the current generation that plays in 2025. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like,
Yeah.
it's different. And to be fair, KG is always very good with this because he always says like, hey, this different generation. You know, I mean, myself, I was one of the sort of last generations that kind of just social media was just creeping in. But I remember being younger without it. You know what I mean? And now it's totally different. I got a nephew that's like 10. He's grown up with social media,
Yeah,
and it's
they're different
completely
kids.
different.
Completely,
It's
they are completely different kids. It's crazy.
Completely, totally different. And yeah, and it's one of those weird things. So it will rub some people the wrong way. Other people will be like, all I care about is what I see on the pitch. I don't care what they say on social media. You know, it doesn't even affect me. It doesn't even reach me. Some people are like, I didn't even know he posted. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. And other people are like, oh, you know, I saw it and I was furious because the first thing I do after a game is go on social media, and I saw it.
But also, we've got so much. The problem is we've got so much things to sort out at this club. We've got so much. Like, this week is so big. That game was so crap as well. That's another thing. The game was so shit, and the league position doesn't really mean anything. It was so bad. It's like, just get to Thursday. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I know, like, you know, people could push back and say, "Oh, so why are you bringing it up first thing on the Monday?" Because this was one of the biggest topics. So listen, what we do here as a fan chat, we always talk about what fans have been talking about on social media. This is what people have been talking about. Don't just look at us. This is go on X. This is there. Everyone's saying he shouldn't say this, or like, it's fine. This is a topic, but I just don't think it needed to be as big as what it needed to be. Don't care. Do you know what I mean? Do your talking on the pitch, Rasmus. You know what I mean? No problem. You needed a goal. You could see by the way he celebrated. He celebrated like it was a goal in the last minute of a cup final to win it, you know, because that's what it means to him. So there is a bit of, when Owen says it, talking out of both sides of our mouth. Want to see players passionate to be here. Want to see players where it means something. These players don't care. Well, it shows that he cares. He hasn't scored in ages. See what I mean? So now he's like, I fucking needed that. Okay, I hope you can harvest that into Thursday, which takes us into the next part, actually, because Amorim had his say.
And Ruben Amorim kind of, sort of explains it, I think, probably best, actually. He said, on keeping Hojlund on, he said, I see the trainings, the way they behave. I try to put the best 11 to win games. Of course, I want to support my players. I was a player. Sometimes you have difficult moments in a big club. It was a good moment for him, but just a goal. And that's basically the way to sum it up, isn't it? Where obviously, he needed it. So you go from that going, we wanted to win, but I needed that, to Amorim going, yeah, it's good for him. And, you know, he did need that, but it's just a goal. At the end of the day, it's just a goal. And maybe this is the pushback of people to the post in the first place, of people going, well, it's kind of what you're there to do, is score goals.
You just scored,
you know, so yes, deal. You needed it because you haven't done it in ages, but also you haven't done it in ages.
Was there an extra bit to that? I think you said something about Thursday. I don't know where that is. Go on, you carry on. I think,
I'll have a look.
Yeah, I think he did. Ready to play another. It's important always. Yeah, it's always important for a striker to score a goal, but it's just one goal. So Thursday we have a huge, massive game for us. So he needs to be fresh and ready to play and to score another. So that's a little bit of extra context there, where he carries on to say, yeah, it's important for strikers to get that, but we got a massive game on Thursday, and he needs to be fresh and ready to score again. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He needs to do it again. And that's one thing. I think KG said it yesterday, or I don't know if you said it, or it just came up naturally from the chat, of why. Because, you know, we're like, just play Chido, man. Just start Chido. Chido comes on, you know, you see the link up, you see gets a shot on target straight away. He did that against Fulham as well. So we've obviously all decided that, you know, Chido's better than Hojlund. We have decided that, because Hojlund's been so bad. Most of us are like, especially in the league, just play him, just start him. But actually, what is going on is Ruben is seeing it as, I need to keep faith in Rasmus in this period, because there isn't any point in him not getting minutes in the Premier League where he's on the bench feeling sorry for himself, this, that, and the other. And then it gets to the Thursday, and he's even more anxious. And actually, technically, it kind of worked now because now he does have that goal. Listen, do we think Rasmus will be wrestling with defenders of Bilbao and maybe not holding the ball up properly? There's a high chance, but also there could just be an ignition of something because all we need it for is for 3 games in this Europa League. If he can have 3 good games in this Europa League, we can win it. If he can finish them, we can win it. We're 3 games away. And obviously you can do it by drawing a game away. So we have to win 2 games. Do you know what I mean? Provided we don't lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's small.
Well, no, I think that was obvious with the team selection that went out yesterday, like I said, and it nearly very close to actually backfired on Amorim, to be honest with you, because, you know, he picked the strongest team with the hope, I think, of getting momentum, hopefully winning the game, and then being like, right, we're going to Thursday with all this momentum. And it was quite frankly the opposite, wasn't it?
It was the opposite.
Well, it's the strongest team we can probably put out. And it's one of the worst performances all season. It was awful. It was shocking. I know if you look at the stats of the game, that you would look at it and out of context, you would think, oh, Man United dominated that one. But we really didn't watching it.
Even Amorim didn't do that. Like, you know, when the manager, he could say we had chances, we had loads of shots, we just weren't clinical. He didn't even go down that route.
No, exactly. And we, once again, as we've seen a few times this season, what does it take? It takes for them to go down to 10 men. And even then, didn't immediately turn the tide.
No.
Maybe had a bit more of it, but didn't immediately turn the tide. But okay, yeah, get out of it and, you know, get a point, and it's something. And the striker that's not scoring gets a goal, so it's something to take into Thursday. But you could look at it conversely and say, look, well, Spurs, they rotated and they got absolutely pumped in the end. You know, what momentum have they got? Because then there's huge negativity. I saw a thumb from DR this morning. Abby, she's going crazy. I mean, I don't know if I've seen that one. Oh my god,
I haven't seen it. No, what's she going crazy about? Because they lost 5-1.
Flex, I will get the thumbnail. You don't look at it yet because I just want your initial reaction. I want your initial reaction to what your reaction to this thumbnail. Because it went up 10 hours ago. I can see it right there. I just clicked on YouTube. It was the first thing that came up there.
But they have pictures from her when they're angry photos. I don't know if it's a new.
No. I think
it's now.
I think this is a screen grab from the video. I think.
But what video did she do?
From the video.
Oh, was she on TalkSport? Oh, if she was on TalkSport, they might have grabbed it from there.
No, but this is just, I mean, right. I think it's here. All right. I got it. All right. So this is the thumbnail that you get greeted to when you go onto YouTube. You see this.
Oh no, she done a reaction. She done a 9-minute reaction just for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's from that. Oh, I didn't know this. Oh, and just go fuming. But what about Europa League? What about running up the M1? What do you read?
And that's with that's with like, was it 8 changes or something like that? You know what I mean? I've go out to think about Thursday. Oh, that's no momentum. There's no momentum. There.
She's actually done a video just for that. Oh, that's funny. Where is it? Oh no, she's done a reaction. Oh, she's in the car. She's fuming. I'm gonna watch that later on.
Oh, the best thing as well is, as you've been laughing, you've frozen. Oh, it's terrific.
Oh, brilliant. There you go. Wait a minute. Sorry. Oh, man. Oh, God.
There it's back.
The other one. I'll put it back on the other one.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Okay. Is it still frozen?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll turn it off and on again. Oh, man.
It's broken him. And Flex, you said you promised no more Flecknology. You said.
Yeah, but that did change. It changed because what happened to you yesterday?
No, but it was you. You said no Flecknology. You said. I mean, does the chat remember? I mean, now he's just vanished.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. Wait a minute. I'm basically, I mean, I have to just go to the Mac one. I might just have to do that for now. Let me just.
V says it there. What Flex did say that, you know, that lasted less than a week, you know.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, I lied.
So.
But basically, I do want to say, you, Owen, I saw your Flecknology thing yesterday, and all my point was,
hey, that's deflecting. That is
No,
deflecting.
I've just owned
That is
mine. I said
deflecting.
I just owned. I said absolutely
I
right.
owned
I said,
mine.
yeah.
I owned mine yesterday.
No,
If
but
you're watching,
correct. So what
and
my
it wasn't
point
even
is,
Flecknology. Wasn't even Flecknology. I just got it wrong.
changing. No,
It wasn't. It wasn't. I saved it in the wrong folder, and I thought I'd saved it
sometimes that
differently.
happens to me. Sometimes I didn't plug the wire in. It happens. You still call it. You don't disparage. You still call it all. You still bundle it all into Flecknology.
Yeah.
Me saying there was going to be no more Flecknology, I was wrong.
People
hold on, this camera now.
chat,
I was wrong.
They're saying you're deflecting.
I'm not. I'm addressing it. I was wrong. Yeah, me. Yeah,
and I was wrong
more
yesterday.
Flecknology happening. Exactly. So what my point is that these things happen, so you can kind of just get on with it, really, can't you? Don't need to make a big deal of it. That was what my actual point is. So if it happens to Owen, who's the best in class, it proves it can happen to any of us. So,
that was just a mistake. That was just a mistake yesterday.
Yeah, happens. That's what I'm saying. Mistakes happen. Technology fries sometimes.
Very passive aggressive.
Why is that? Why is that froze? Don't know, mate. Technology.
Deflecting.
Why is it when you upgrade an operating system, it stops something from working on OBS? It's just technology. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Isn't it really? That's what happens. So
kind of.
Yeah, it's just something that happens. That's my point. It happens to the best of us. Yeah. You got to just get on with it.
It sounds suspicious, like deflecting. You know what I mean?
Well, I can't help you with your reactions. I can only control mine.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's some positives come out of it. Charleboy comment says you look 10 years younger with the new camera angle.
See? And Owen, you could zoom in if you want. You can just push me. You could just,
I can't. No, I can't.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't, mate. Can't.
Yeah.
I thought this. Okay. Anyway, let's keep it moving. There's some super chats to read here.
Yes.
There is. Ken Aldi, big up to you, Ken. Says you can't please everyone. Move on. Which we did, to be fair. We did move on. Big up to you, Ken. Terrence Pace says emotions took over. He knows he needs to be better. He absolutely does. And Manny, big up to you, Manny says, showing passion on the field with so much pressure, fighting for your career is fine, but take your soy latte and your Insta account and go away. Wow. Okay.
Do you like a soy latte, Flex?
Nah, not for me.
Me neither. No,
not for me. Not for me at all. Manny says the thing most fans miss is what's wrong. And it's not just the striker, it's the spine. We need 2 10s, Bruno to 8, a right wing back, and a central defensive midfielder. We lack depth. It was obvious against the Cherries. Yeah, exactly. It is. We're a mess. Do you know what I mean? We need so many things to be changed. Right, actually, where are we at for the likes? How are we doing? Where's everyone?
Well, I'll tell you, not great, Flex.
I
mean, we got 1,200 people watching. We've got 220 likes.
Guys. Yeah, but we haven't really pushed it, so I feel let's push that. Let's push that. Come on, people. Yeah. Let's do better. Yeah. Please. Yeah. Let's do better. We need 350 very quickly. We can do that with 1,200 people watching. You know what I'm saying? Carlson Charles. Actually, let me go back to here so I can bring it up on the screen. Carlson Charles says, as a fan base, we tear into him at his lowest, yet criticized for expressing relief. We knew he was raw. Development isn't linear, but shows flashes. Frustration dumping, our final ball and passing poor. And there you go. That's another thing of, like I said, you're on this kid's neck when he's been playing crap, so you know his confidence is on the floor. He expresses elation at finally scoring. And then, yeah, we're cussing him. So I feel like we have to be honest with that and say that's where it is. Right, Gary Neville was on about, what did he say? Man United should be sending horrors or tremors.
Tremors. He says the debate is over. Now that Liverpool have equaled, 20 league championships. He said on Sky Sports yesterday, Liverpool have more European Cups and today will equal Manchester United's 20 league titles. The debate is over. Liverpool's success should cause pain and heartache. He also said, as Flex mentioned, it should send tremors to Old Trafford. What do you make of Gary Neville's comments there, about the debate is over. But effectively, he's saying that Liverpool are now the bigger club than Manchester United because if they're equal when it comes to league titles, they've got more European cups than us. So therefore, they are bigger. As people were pointing out yesterday, they went, well, Manchester United have got more Premier League titles than Liverpool. We've got 13 compared to their, 2? But then you get the pushback of people going, yeah, but football didn't begin in 1992 when the Premier League started. No, it's been going on for quite much longer than that. League titles are league titles. So what did you make of it? And what do you make of it in the chat?
Yeah, it's things these are things if we have to be 100% honest with, which we don't always want to do because Liverpool can't stand them, the biggest rivals. Factually, it's true, isn't it? It's true. Football, in order to save face against my Liverpool friends, I absolutely am posting that graph of us with the 13 Premier League titles and 2 for them. And I'm basically saying, if you're not a Liverpool fan who's over 60, I don't want to hear from you. I don't want you claiming stuff that you weren't even born. Shut up. Like in my lifetime, me versus you, my friends, in my group chats and that, I'm saying that. I'm dropping it. But the real truth of the matter is, it's true. Football didn't start. When the Premier League started in 92. And for us to get back to what we want to be, this is just me. I'm a fond believer of accepting your real reality. Don't hide from your real reality. And the real reality is, like I said, they've got 6 European trophies. We got 3. They got the same amount of league titles as us. So yeah, trophy-wise, they're more successful, aren't they? Like, and the reason why we weren't saying it before.
If you're going to have that debate, I mean, let's be honest here. We're now into the territory where we're having to start to split hairs, aren't we? Really,
Yeah,
what we're doing,
absolutely.
what we're doing now, we're going into. Yeah, but in modern, they've only won a couple of Premier Leagues. We've won 13 Premier Leagues. And the fact that a couple of years ago, let's say a decade ago, we wouldn't even have this debate. Would do. We wouldn't even have this debate.
No.
We're talking about 20 times Man United. And they go, and at the time, I mean, because they've won a couple of Champions Leagues, haven't they? In the last 20 odd years. So we'd be like, whatever. Now we're having to split hairs because we're like, well, yeah, but Premier Leagues and sort of modern and this and that. It's horrible. And I think what we do as fans to sort of push back, we start splitting hairs, and because we don't want to have uncomfortable conversations, do we? That's what it is. The reality is the same way that it was for Liverpool for a long period of time when Sir Alex was manager. Like when I was growing up, there was a long period of time at Liverpool. They were like mid-table fodder. There was a period of time they were like mid-table fodder, and they'd probably be having these conversations of being like, yeah, but in the 80s, Liverpool that, Liverpool that, and Man United fans would be like, who gives a shit? We're winning the league every season, mate. We've passed you. Now it's reversed. It's gone back the other way, where it's like we're like, well, Man United mid-table fodder, Liverpool winning the leagues and going to latter stages and winning Champions Leagues. And I think the most appropriate thing to do at the time is not get our backs up about it. It's to face reality and be like, we are way off. We are way off. Now, I do think we'll come back because, as Liverpool have shown, that the big teams, they do come back. Eventually, they come back. Football is cyclical like that. It's not a guarantee, but I think they probably will. Man United one day will be back to.
Yeah, we just don't know if it'll be in our lifetime. We don't know.
No, we just don't know when it's going to be.
We don't know when.
Liverpool, it took 30 years for them to win a Premier League title again. And for United, will it be the same? Maybe. Arsenal fans, they haven't won the league title since they went invincible. They've come close the last few years, and that's probably where their panic is of going, been close, we still haven't won it. Like, are we ever going to win it? Are we ever going to win it again? So, I think when Gary Neville's talking there, a lot of people can say, "Oh, it's just Gary Neville doing Gary Neville things."
I don't understand why people are mad at him. I don't get it.
It's not. I don't think it's that sensationalist for him to basically say,
of course it's not.
Liverpool are far and ahead, better than Manchester United at the moment. Bigger. The whole bigger thing is always going to be subjective anyway. It depends what you judge it on. Some people will judge it on, again, these trophies. Some people will judge it purely on, Premier League. Some people will judge it on fan base size and commercial revenue and what have you. So I don't think that's a debate anyone's ever going to be 100% aligned on. But the reality is they're far and away ahead of us at the moment. Far and away.
And when he's saying it should send tremors or whatever shockwaves through Old Trafford, You fucking should. So, Jim, if you're a Man United fan, like you say you are, and your job is to come in here and fix this and change this and get Man United back to doing what we should be doing, which is at the very least competing for league titles, and our biggest rivals have just equaled ours. You're damn right. The people, Omar Barada, Jean-Claude Blanc, and Dave Brailsford, and all these, the whole of Ineos who are in charge of this, they should be feeling it. They should, because, like I said, obviously we've known this is gonna be happening. Like, it's not a shock that Liverpool won this league. We've known this since before Christmas. That's fine. But what I'm saying is that, you know, these little minute things. There's a day where it all comes together where you should talk about it, and then you move on. This is that day. Yesterday was into today. When we're playing our shit game against Bournemouth and we can't get a goal, and we're hanging on against trying to turn it around against 10 men to get a draw, and they're shrinking down our game and putting that big screen of loads of flares of the team bus pulling up at Anfield to celebrate the 20th league title. You know what I mean? The scarves are out. They're all dressed in red. All got their shirts on. That's what we live for. That's what we were used to. We're a million miles off that. So yes, on today, the day that they were crowned champions, that should send shockwaves through Old Trafford. And if it don't send shockwaves, then something's wrong. Something's wrong. Because what it means is that we're getting too comfortable, and we do it to cope with the season. It's a natural fan thing. We've been so shit this year. To cope with it, we're just like, well, it's another loss. We know that. It's another loss. Well, of course we was going to lose to Wolves. Of course, we probably weren't going to beat Bournemouth. Of course, we're not going to beat Brentford next week. Obviously, we're shit this year. We know this. But if we start to just not have, when we actually sit and talk about it overall, if we don't have any emotion left, I get it, because it's been zapped out of us, but then we're finished. We have to remind ourselves of what we're trying to get back to, and we have to look at that Liverpool thing very shortly. Of course, we're not going to watch the speeches and watch the parade, and I don't really care how Arnie Slot, what he said to the fans. I don't give a shit about that. I turned it off. But we're going to see it everywhere, all over our social medias, them lifting it, and it should flipping hurt, and it should hurt all the people who make the decisions at Man United, and all the players who are there to fix it.
You can't stick your head in the sand, basically. And this is when I go back to splitting hairs. You can't stick your head in the sand and sort of just pretend, it's not happening. It's not happening. And this is why we say, I kind of do roll my eyes a little bit of the, we're Man United. You go, well, that means something different to what it meant a decade ago, doesn't it? You know, we're Man United. We talk about a new generation of players. You go, we're Man United. They'll go, so, like, what you winning? What you doing? You know, and the answer is not that much, not that much. Whereas like I said, when I was younger, and some people said they were Liverpool, I remember all the time when I was younger, people go, my dad used to say to me, yeah, but Liverpool in the 80s, and I'd be like, yeah, Dad, I wasn't fucking born in the 80s.
Never seen it. Yeah.
I don't care. You're just old. And now I feel like that. If I'm talking to, like, you know, my nephew, I'll be like, yeah, Man United, they used to be proper good. They'd be like, oh no, I've never seen it.
He thinks you're lying. Yeah.
Yeah, just go.
What are you lying?
Yeah,
you're right.
You're old. You're old. I don't know what you're talking about. You're old. And it's right. It's the same thing. So you have to acknowledge it. I don't think Gary Neville, what he's saying there, is a million miles off. Like I
don't
said,
know why people are onto him.
The whole thing about, you know, big, successful, whatever, it's all subjective, but you have to acknowledge the reality, which is we are miles off. And like you said yesterday, at points of that game, they effectively stopped showing the game just to show Liverpool arriving at the state.
Yeah. At the point where you start to become irrelevant, I keep looking at that camera. At the point you start to become irrelevant, yeah. Let's be honest. That, like, again, you have to call this as it is. I don't mean we're going to stay irrelevant, but we've become irrelevant this season. The fact that when we lose in all these games or conceding goals, like you say, your group chat's not even going off anymore. Even the hate of the door never ignored, where you keep getting cussed every week, Man United.
KG were saying that. People stop calling you. You.
There's nothing. Like, when you become irrelevant, and like I said, the main story yesterday was nothing to do about Man United. Everybody, the whole Super Sunday was built around Liverpool's title win. Rightly so, they won the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? No one cares about the other games. So we were lucky to even be on.
And we're going. I tell you what, Thursday's important. Europa game's really Thursday's really, really important. Save our season. And it's like
what we're talking about. The Ganacho's posting Thursday.
Yeah, the real proper clubs or whatever are talking about, obviously, like Liverpool winning the Prem. or FA Cup final in the case of City, FA Cup final, but they're going to be in the Champions League next season, so it's calm. They're not worried about that. Their season's, it's been a bad one, but still, they've still got to a final and also Champions League. It's cool. Arsenal, they're like, well, we're going for Champions League. All about Tuesday Champions League, and we're also comfortably in the Champions League next season, so that's going to be fine. We're going Thursday, save our season, Europa. My God.
From 15th or wherever we are now. I don't even know what that draw did for us. Are we 15th, 14th? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we still haven't got to 40 points. We're trying to avoid 40 points like the plague. We can't even get 40. We're 39 points.
Yeah.
So, yes, last time I checked, it should send tremors through Old Trafford. It should. Shows the saddest thing about Liverpool 20 is there's not a damn thing we'll do about it, except in 2017, we won't win another title while Glazers are here. And there you go. That's exactly what are we going to do about it? Because Liverpool are more primed to win a Premier League next before we do. So what are you going to do about it? Who's going to win it next before us? Arsenal? Arsenal going to get their first title in 20 years? How's that going to feel?
It's like when City won the Champions League and they did the treble. And again, we kind of just go 115 charges. But as I pointed out at the time, it still happened. Even if it gets stripped from them and struck from the record, that doesn't mean literally like in Men in Black, we just go like that and I go, can't remember that. Didn't happen. It did.
Our two biggest rivals are surpassing us in every metric. And we're just supposed to just yeah, but don't worry about it. No. What we're doing is because we forget, because we're just stuck in it and we'd have to cope, the copium. You do bury your head in the sand. You do that. You just don't care about City. They ain't got no fans, so whatever. 150.
Well, last time with Liverpool, we went COVID. No one saw it. No one saw it.
Well, everyone saw this one.
Yeah, we got these sort of excuses. Wow, COVID, so it didn't really happen at City. Wow, 115 charges. So
it's just stupid.
It's all right.
Andrew says, do you guys honestly think that was our worst game? I've seen a lot worse with Erik ten Hag and when players were still clearly uncomfortable with the 3-4-3. Well, we spoke about this after the game, didn't we, with KG? KG thought that was wait, what did he say? I don't want to misquote him. He was like, yeah, I think he was basically saying...
He was effectively saying that he'd seen over the last, I suppose, weeks or so that, points had got better. And yesterday was like one of the worst performances. So how had that happened? And again, sort of, my point was actually, if you do take a step back, I think this was kind of yours, with actually, we've seen performances just as bad, really, this season. And once again, we can split hairs and go, yeah, but under Ten Hag, we saw bad games. We've just seen bad games across the board for 2 years.
Yeah.
So
yeah, with Andrew on that. Like I said, I just took that Bournemouth game and put it in the same bag of marbles as all them other shit games I've seen this season with Amorim. Like I said, I listed the games because it's but the passing just wasn't good. Yeah, well, when we played against Forest and we lost 3-1, it was literally because we didn't look after the ball properly and kept giving it away. You know what I mean? And then we got punished every single time. 2001 says, hi guys, do you think a front three of Cunha and Buemo and Shirky would work? This team needs a brand new front three. Do I think that would work? Yes. Well, who got up front? Buemo.
Yeah, we don't really have a striker. I mean, and Buemo's...
Yeah, Buemo, it's... I don't know. That's also an EAFC thing. It's just I don't think that's going to happen. But do I think that would work? Be better than what we got now, that's for sure. That's absolutely sure. 2001. Manny says the only banter I have against my Liverpool mates is that they've only won 2 Premier Leagues, and nobody saw because we were hiding from a common cold. And that's just it with my Liverpool friends, and that's all I've been doing. And I've told them, got to clutch at anything. I said, unless you're 50 plus or 60 plus or whenever the age group that you need to have been to see those ones when Liverpool were killing it in the 80s, don't want to hear from you, mate. Don't want to hear from you. All you new Liverpool fans, you've seen your team win 1 Premier League in person. So don't care. That's all I've got.
Do you know what yesterday, though, did as well? Because we and to be fair, we kind of predicted this going into the game. And the last 2 weeks have been absolute evidence of this. That it's one thing to say, you know what, today, guys, like Wolves at Old Trafford, like Bournemouth yesterday at the Vitality, it doesn't matter, yeah? It doesn't matter. No one cares. It's about Thursday. But then when you have to watch it, when you have to watch it and live it, it will always hurt. It will always hurt, and it will always piss you off. Because as much as mentally, and maybe this just goes to show how much of a Man United fan you are. Mentally, you can check out, but still when you watch it, it's still tough. It's still tough to experience it. It's like eating a pile of shit every day for dinner, and you go, well, eventually I'll get used to it. You're still eating shit every day, and some days it's worse than others, and you go, I'm just sick of this. I'm sick of this. And then some days you look at it and go, I think I'll be all right today. I think I'll be okay. That's all right. It's all right. But then once you start eating the shit again, you go, I'm still sat here eating shit. I'm sick of this, and that's what it's like watching Man United, where it's like, it's not going to bother me. You start seeing those misplaced passes. You start seeing some bad refereeing decisions like yesterday, and you start seeing some missed chances, and you go, if you go full lead judges, it just builds up, and you go, I've just had enough of this. I've just had enough. And then the game, and then you go, and then once you have to do this, we have to talk. You have to talk about it after the game, and you're like, this is just crap. This is crap. I hate it. And so I don't know if it was yesterday an overreaction. Probably not. Maybe
No,
not. I don't
it's just
know.
I think I am past. Listen, I know I said about no fake outrage before the game because it's like what's going to happen. So that's why again yesterday when I was saying to KG, I was like, well, I predicted we'd lose this game 2-0. So all this, if I predict we're going to lose a game 2-0, I'm also predicting criminality. I'm also predicting lack of care on the ball. I'm also predicting not defending properly, giving away cheap goals. However, I'm not predicting we're going to lose 2-0, but we were the better team and didn't deserve to lose 2-0. Am I? Really not. So so for me personally, I feel like I'm totally prepared to see what I saw. But during the game, had my arms up like this. Oh my dog, get him off. Luke Shaw, just rip up that contract. Because obviously you're going to provoke emotion during the game. I'm talking about after the game, about the fake outrage of, this is why Ruben's got to go. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's the same, Flex said no fake outrage, yet there was outrage. Yeah, it wasn't fake though. That's what I'm saying. Watching the game in the 90 minutes, like Owen saying, when you're seeing it unravel, it's going to provoke emotion. We support our team. We support. The fake outrage for me is afterwards, when it's all said and done, when you knew that was just doing the mad, you have to go get out of my club, Ruben. This is what I mean. I just don't agree with that because I'm just like, you knew that was going to happen.
Well, my thing yesterday was pushing back on because I was trying to understand when KG was really down about the game, and he was like, it was one of the first times he was saying about, actually, I'm quite worried for Ruben, or is this manager's not working. I'm kind of paraphrasing there, and because we'd had like a 40-minute debate against Wolves about it was yourself and me. We were saying basically we haven't improved; it's the same. And basically, would sort of blind faith hoping that it's going to get better under Ruben because you're going to get new transfers, basically. That was what we had the debate about last week. And then there was KG and Marcel going, no, there have been small improvements. Little things have been better. And our thing was, wow, I don't really think so. And then yesterday, KG basically said that there hasn't been any improvements. So I was going, well, what's changed then in a week for you to go from no improvements to from improvements to actually there's been no improvements? What's that? And KG's point is, well, he had a whole week of training. And my thing was, well, nothing's going to change in a week because Ruben's had weeks of training. Like at this point, when he's been at the club for 3/4 of the season, it's not a case now of 1 week's going to change anything. We know what it's going to be going into these matches, and we're kind of just again hoping really that things are going to change. But if you look at it actually quite logically, they're not. We know they're not going to change. We're just getting to the end of the season, so that's why I was a bit confused yesterday because no 1 week of training is going to make any difference. And the analogy I used yesterday was if this was a graph, yes, and this is like when you go game to game. Some games might be a bit in terms of performance will be a bit higher than others. Some games will be lower. But if you looked at the overall trend of when like Amorim came in versus now, you'd actually see that the trend is actually the performances are pretty much the same. Really, you can look at individual metrics and go, well, possession is higher, and XG is maybe lower, and goals conceded, expected goals conceded is lower than Eric, and blah blah blah. But the overall trend is it's pretty much the same. We were on course for like a 14th, 15th place finish when Ruben came in, And that's where we're probably going to finish now, right? So the trend in terms of everything is about the same. So that's why I'm not going into those kind of games being like, oh, because we've had a full week, there's going to be a big difference, because we know there's not. There's not going to be a big difference. So that's why I was surprised to hear KG say, yes, they are. I just wasn't expecting it to be that bad after a week of training when, as you pointed out, well, we've seen performances like that. You can go to Newcastle, pumped twice, home and away. You can do, you can do Forest at home. You can do Bournemouth at home. And even recently, there have been some better performances, sure. But even in the Lyon game at Old Trafford, when we threw it away, second half, we were shocking, and red card, maybe a bit of luck. And then obviously European magic gets us through. But we played Newcastle at St. James's Park. That was just a couple of weeks ago. We were shocking. Like, we were awful, absolutely terrible. So when I see just a few weeks later that performance against Bournemouth,
you're not shocked.
How can you be shocked?
Yeah.
Because it was the same as it was a
it's
couple
the same
of
pattern.
weeks ago.
Yeah, I think what we've learned this year is don't be surprised by the levels of that this team will go to be shit. They find new levels, new ways every game. You know what I mean? Every game, and even the players have checked out of the Premier League to be like, like I said, Garnacho's posting Thursday. When we messed up against Wolves, it was, we need you all on Thursday against Leo. No, wait, was that after? So that was the come down. Who did we play before and we lost? Forest. Or was it Newcastle? So no, it was after the Newcastle battering. We lost 4-1, and it was, but we have to create something special on Thursday night. Was that? Wait, was the Newcastle one in between?
I'll have a
first
look.
and second leg.
I'll have a look. So yeah, Newcastle one was in between. Yeah, Newcastle.
Yeah, so we was already at 2-2 in it. Yeah, so 2-2. Then we went to Newcastle away. So we got, we did well in the first half, 1-1. Me and you sitting there watching that game, going, you know what? Tell you what, Xerxes, then he scored the goal of the season. We're doing okay. As soon as we came out second half, Dallo lets Livramento run past him, and it was all downhill. Excuse me, it was all downhill from there. Mazraoui falls over. Then Barnes scores, and then
Ryan Deer.
Yeah. So we just capitulated with like severe criminality like we saw against Bournemouth. Just didn't concede loads of goals from it. So but the players straight after that, what were they saying? Bruno was like, listen, this is terrible. He's like, but we're going to create something special on Thursday. We need to do this. It's all about Thursday. And look what Thursday gave us. Do you know what I mean? Then we have that crap loss against Wolves. Then there's a whole week off to that game yesterday. We draw yesterday, which looked like it was going to be a 2-0 loss, let's be honest. Should have been. Then it's Thursday. We just need you again Thursday. So that's why I ain't shocked about anything in the league. That's why I don't think we'll win another Premier League game. Maybe West Ham at home, because they're shit as well. But again, that could be a draw. I don't know. We could be in the Europa League final by then. Or we go out against Bilbao and nobody cares about anything. Could be awful by then. Could be terrible by then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and I think that's when, like we were saying, and to be fair, I was speaking to a few people yesterday on the full-time view, and we were kind of talking about it after the game. We were talking about next season, and sort of going, well, and a lot of people coming to see. I think if you ask most people, what have you seen that gives you faith that next season it will be better? Most are sort of saying, well, I can't really pinpoint much. Some of it's just a gut feeling. Some might point to maybe handling of certain players, certain issues that you go, okay, I think that maybe he's got it. But largely, I think it is down to, well, next season it's going to be better. One, because it has to be, and two, because it's like, well, as we said, if you do have a transfer window where you sign 4 or 5 players and they're all first team starters, well, it's like half a new team. You would hope that would be better, you would hope that would lead to better performances. Not a 100% turnaround where we'd be like, we're winning titles, but if we do have a new forward line next season, let's say, wow, that's maybe scoring more goals.
It's something. It's instant. It's instant improvement on paper.
That'll be better. But I don't think you can look at anything. You can't look at really. But put it this way, you can't look at anything Ruben Amorim has done thus far and go, next season I'm 100% confident that it'll be fine, or it'll be much better, because there's no evidence. There is no evidence. We're in faith territories. If you get a new goalkeeper, get a striker, you go, all right, I can believe in that. I can believe in that. But there's no like of individual players that you can look at really and go like, oh, they got a tune out of him, so that's why next season it's going to be better. You go, well, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what I really worry about. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I've said it so many times before. I just look at next year and I have no idea how that's gonna pan out. I don't. Normally, you get something where you go, "Nah, I'm fairly confident. I'm really confident that listen, this guy just needs his players, man. Look what he did at Sporting." But I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that. And if we can just like talk about it seriously, I know you guys can start to flip it. Oh, see, you're basically Ruben out. I don't want to say it's nothing to do with that. I've said he needs to stay here and get his players. I just don't know what that looks like when he does it because we haven't seen that. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen anything. On theory, yes. If you replace Rasmus Hojlund with Liam Delap, you've upgraded. In theory. But even Liam Delap, Man United, different pressure.
Is it enough of an upgrade?
Is it enough of an upgrade? So even that's like, which is why, again, I want Osimhen or an experienced striker. We'll see. Maybe the Liam Delap thing might not happen. Who knows? We don't know. Cunha, if you put in Cunha instead of Garnacho, or if you put Cunha into a 10 at Man United, we are instantly better on paper. But yeah, 5 players into the starting 11 should make a difference. But also, it's who's gonna improve, because I still stand by it. We're not going to be able to turn this around without getting improvement from the other guys. So it's adding 5 new players into 5 guys that are already here. 5 guys that are already here. Are they going to have an upturn then? So let's say the players that will have to improve. And I'm not saying because I think he has done well. So someone like Yoro, because he's going to play more because he's good.
Yeah, he'll get better.
And he'll get better. Who's going to stay playing? Bruno doesn't. He doesn't need to improve. His numbers are high.
You'd probably be like,
who's the players going to stay in the team?
If you make sure that Ahmad doesn't get hurt, he's playing more consistently. Because we have missed him since he's got hurt. I know we lost games with him, but you say but he's young still, so you've got hope. Well, his performances should continue to improve and get higher.
At left wing back, are we sort of at a question mark where we don't actually know, because this Diego Leon kid could just come in and just be the guy. This Harry Amas could be the new guy, or Dorgu gets better. We don't. It's a really interesting question mark because we've got 3 players there that can play that position.
Yeah.
How much is Diego Leon just get him in? It's pre-season, then he goes on loan to get accustomed to English.
In terms of players. In terms of players that you could see actually remaining in the starting 11, let's say we do sign 5 players. Then you're looking at, all right, name 5 players that are currently playing for you that are still going to be regularly starting next season. You probably go with. Well,
or would we get a right wing back?
I'll go Yoro. Yoro will start.
Yeah.
Would you still say a De Ligt will probably start in there?
Yeah.
We're not going to start. How many centre backs are we going to?
We'll sign one maybe.
I'd go maybe De Ligt and Yoro might still be in there next season. I could see that.
Yeah.
See that. And then
Martinez
left, left, we'll see. In terms of wing backs, I think it's guaranteed with some signings. I don't know if we'll sign a left wing back this summer, so I'd still say.
No, I don't think we'll sign a left wing back.
So left wing back is still going to be someone that's there, someone that's already there.
Oh right, yeah.
And
right
then who else? Right wing back. I still think we might have a look. In the summer.
Well, is it going to be Ahmad or Dallo or an extra player so who can play there?
Will the right wing back at United next season be someone that's already there? It's a tough one.
It's a tough one, isn't it? You don't know what Amorim's plans are.
I don't know what the priority is.
You don't know.
Question mark on that one. And then the other one, you'd say, Bruno will play. Are we gonna sign 5 first team starters in the summer?
So I'm saying, I don't know.
Because if we sign Delap, Cunha, they're happening. That's 2. What other positions?
Bruno's gonna drop back.
I really want us to sign a goalkeeper. But that's gone a bit
Yeah.
quiet, hasn't it? That's got a bit
It
quiet,
has.
the whole goalkeeping one.
I don't think we're going to have 5 new starters.
I mean, you usually sign for like 5 players, don't we?
Did all the 5 players we bought in the summer, did they all start?
Pretty much, don't we? I mean, you've
Yeah.
got Delict.
Delict when he's fit. Mazraoui when
Delict,
he's fit
Mazraoui,
starts. Xerxes in
Xerxes.
and out.
Well, but now you'd be like, you
Yeah,
probably
that's
should
3.
start.
Ugarte starts.
Ugarte starts.
Pretty much. And who was the 5th one?
Did we only sign 4 in the summer?
No, we got 5, didn't we? Who's the 5th player we signed?
Oh, Yoro.
Oh, yeah, Yoro.
5. So that was 5 starters.
Yeah. So will we get 5 starters again?
Maybe 4.
Mm.
We're going 2. We're going Cunha, Delap, and then maybe. But that's why I've said about goalkeeper. I'm saying sign anyone will be a starter. Sign anyone.
Go and get anyone.
Get anyone.
Yeah, probably 4 is more likely in terms of actually starters because you've got to think about how you're going to shift other people out.
And it depends who we move on, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. The last super chat yesterday when I saw Liverpool. She says yesterday when I saw Liverpool win the league, it broke my heart. I don't care if it's Liverpool, Arsenal, or City. I just want to be at the top. Will we ever be there again? Every game I see us play, I feel deluded. I trust Amorim, but I just pray to God. I'm with you. Just pray. It's all we could do, bro. And she also says, I don't want us to become history. We will be the past, present, and the future. I believe in God. Please just keep believing. Smash the like, people, on the way out. Big show. It's a big Monday. Loads going on this week. We've got the red carpet today, later on this evening as well. And yeah, we just got to stay locked in. Stay together, stay united in difficult times. We're out of here, guys. Take care. Big show. Peace.